A list of places I've avoided this creative commission. Harefield, where the mosquitos were persistent, and we spent summer early evening hours in a dinghy to the accompaniment of the distant smell of sewage. Ruislip, where I wandered through magnificent woodland observing the power of water's pull, as streams carved deep trenches in the ancient land. Rickmansworth, where we sat in unbearable heat, riverside, paddling in the cool, fast-flowing Colne, and by night, as the sun set behind the great trees, sitting beside a lake with birdsong into the early hours, prophesying, wishing, reminiscing. High Wycombe, Aylesbury, Milton, Keynes, Luton, St Albans, by bus, hoping the motion might trigger some need to express an inner longing, some urgent truth, or, at the very least, some wit. Watford, where the weather broke and the rains cast away any great illusion that this time was a great restorative gift, where the winds of doubt set in, where my great lockdown love, cycling, left my life, where our floating home was plucked from the water to sit on the land as we scraped and repainted its bottom, where my metaphorical uprooting was made physical. Hemel Hempstead, where we waited out our final days before setting out on our adventure, that would cure my terminal inaction, that would see us leave London for some indefinite time, that would see me reborn, that would reveal the answers. Bulbourne, where the nights were dark and silent, and the days filled with picturesque reservoirs and 10-mile walks to the shops. Then, days skirting around the Chiltern Hills, hot afternoons with views so serene that almost nothing else mattered. Milton Keynes, discovering that I like it, that some utopian design ideals work. Reflecting on snobbery. Bletchley, Wolverton, Stony Stratford and Newport Pagnell. Visiting historic villages and creating a leaderboard. Northamptonshire, leaving behind the southeast. Quaint canal-side villages, long damp winding tunnels, then endless nondescript farmland. A field a couple of miles away from the M1, where sheep bleated all day and night, and the phone signal was inexplicably good. Succumbing to the unlikely pull of Daventry, discovering that it was not worth the 6-mile walk, wondering why so many divorced men buy narrowboats, rambling through the freshly ploughed fields, feeling an unjustified sense of achievement at visiting Watford Gap services by foot. A water point in Braunston, a middle-aged goth boater raising an eyebrow at a COVID denier. A lock in Hill Morton, a lockkeeper astonished at my desire to stay in Rugby for a whole week. The bus to Northampton, because it's the closest I'll ever be. Devon, staring out to sea, imagining that creativity would pour out of me. Devon, standing in the sea, imagining surely, now, creativity would pour out of me. Devon, standing on an isolated cliff top with an apocalyptic hangover, infuriated at the lack of gale-force wind, imagining that I could force some creativity out of me. Fuck. Wales, on a train, 3 hours in, or at the steep Welsh hills, packed tight with pines. Surprise at the wide valley bottom with roaring rivers opening out to magical estuaries. Why haven't I visited Aberystwyth before? Sunset on a pebble beach. How the fuck do pebbles work? The beach is shrouded by those high Welsh hills. Beautiful. The places you end up when avoiding the places you should be. Where now? I feel as lost now as I did 2 months ago. Have I fallen out of love with theatre? Was I ever in love? Was it a fling that lasted too long? I don't know. But we moved to the outskirts of Coventry this weekend. And that's enough.